money comes from my top spenders. Charlie, he's one of my top biggest spenders. He is the biggest spender. He spent $4.7 million in the course of a year. And
wow.
He's awesome. And he's just super nice guy.
Have you spoken to him? Like, do you do like a video chat with him? Have you actually spoken to him?
I haven't yet. Just through OnlyFans, we talk.
Wow.
And you know, to me, if somebody's doing that, they are obsessed with you. I mean, it's an...
Are OnlyFans creators now just a part of society to the point where they're so ingrained within society that they are, you know, the new social media stars? Are they the new, like, celebrities on the block? A lot of people will hear that and instantly turn their nose up. But when you take a look at some of the things that OF creators are doing now, some of the money that they're earning and some of the things that are going on around these OF creators, it's really hard to kind of like say, no, these people aren't, like, you know, they're not like corn stars, for example, where, you know, society puts them in a box and puts them away. These guys are like mainstream celebrities, like genuinely. And I know you're probably cringing hearing that and you're probably thinking, how on earth could you possibly say that? But for example, the Met Gala, right? A very highly prestigious event where people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get an invite. Celebrities go. Sabrina Carpenter, for example, Kim Kardashian, Katy Perry AI'd in, right? They all go. It's a massive fashion event. They get selected by fashion designers to wear their clothes and promote them. But we've started seeing influencers trickle into that Met Gala instead of just mainstream high notable celebrities. And now even Kamala Arujo, who is an OF creator for the Bop House, went to the Met Gala. So this is kind of getting to the point where it's not just about, you know, your prestige as an actor, an actress, a singer, a songwriter, a musician. Now, we're starting to see these, you know, OF creators really kind of make their way into the mainstream limelight. And it's kind of backed up when you hear about some of the people that slide into the DMs of these OF creators. So, for example, this is Aisha Sophie. So she's also a Bop House creator. And she's had several celebrities slide into her DMs to try and like spark up a bit of a relationship with them.
Do you have any crazy celebrities in your DMs that are trying to get at you?
Okay, I will say.
Okay.
I don't like name dropping.
Okay.
I will say one of the Sway Boys.
Okay.
Hype House, like weirdly enough.
Okay.
And.
So Bryce.
Not Bryce. I don't know actually, but
Josh?
No, I want to say
Noah?
there are influencers.
Okay, influencers.
That have public relationships that are in my DMs.
Oh.
And those girls need to watch out, and I love girls. I'm not the type for the messiness and the cheating. So
are you a girl's girl?
I'm a girl's girl.
Okay, so they don't have to worry about you and the messiness.
Yeah, no. If a girl DMs me and says my boyfriend's following you, please block him. I block him. Like, you're good, girl. I got it.
Okay. Have you ever seen the tests where you can pay a girl on TikTok and then she'll DM the boyfriend and then to see what happens?
Yes.
Okay. So, but no one would get you caught up in that though, right? All right. Well, that's.
See, this is kind of nuts that people will just slide into the DMs of these girls because they see them online, and they're like more in touch than like corn stars, I suppose. But at the same time, that is kind of the same industry. But also, we all know, right, that people can pay their way into privilege and they can pay their way into places like the Met Gala. And you're probably wondering, well, you know, these people can't be earning that much money. Well, on average, the OF industry is arguably making more money per month than any other social media industry because of the amount of like attention that it gets, the amount of people that are on it. Sophie Rain, for example, made 47 million within her first year. Bonnie Blue here talks about how obviously she's very controversial because of the amount of like stunts that she does, but she talks about the amount of money on average she makes per month.
on average, I'm earning 50,000 a day, well over $1 million a month. It's not necessarily been a payday, but yes, my income in the last 30 days has been 1.5 million. My goal is to get to 5 million a month.
I mean, that's just absolutely absurd, right? That's absolutely absurd. And we've just seen a huge argument between Amaranth, who is an OF streamer, and her husband, Nick Lee. For 22 hours, they argued because they dropped from $2 million a month on OF to 1.5 million. Like, that is absurd amounts of money. These people are making crazy amounts of cash, hand over fist. And even Sophie Rain, right? These people don't even have to have specific relationships with the people that are donating to them. Sophie Rain opens up, right, and says that within her, like, career, her top, like, spender, I suppose, for want of a better term, has spent like $4.7 million on them, and she's never even met them face to face, never spoken to them, only through OF chats.
A lot of my money comes from my top spenders. Charlie, he's one of my top biggest spenders. He is the biggest spender. He spent $4.7 million in the course of a year, and
Wow.
he's awesome. And he's just super nice guy.
Have you spoken to him? Like, do you do like a video chat with him? Have you actually
I
spoken to him?
haven't yet, just through OnlyFans. We talk.
Wow.
And you know, to me, if somebody's doing that, they are obsessed with you. I mean, it's an addiction.
That's crazy. Like, imagine if someone sent me $4.7 million over the course of a year, I would absolutely make an effort to try and meet this person. Now, obviously, this is very different, right? Because ultimately, this person has spent $4.7 million on, you know, very crude images of someone, maybe even videos of someone, right? We don't know the extent of what's shown, but we can, you know, use our imagination. Maybe meeting up with someone like that, kind of one-to-one, might not be the greatest of ideas. But there's ways about it. FaceTime, for God's sake. You can't Skype anymore, that shit just got shut down. But I don't know, Microsoft Teams that shit. I don't know. Like, at least make a bit of... I would make a bit of an effort, at least, to try and, you know, show some appreciation. Because that is absurd. But it's getting so mainstream that I know Russell Brand is not exactly in the best of lights at the moment. But obviously, he does, like, a podcast, type YouTube thing where he talks about stuff. And he talks about Bonnie Blue. And, you know, this is what he had to say on the matter.
Bonnie Blue is going around fucking people in car parks, or in your language, parking lots, and calling it a job. Now, the problem is this. When I was a younger man, I'd have done that. If you find yourself on the 17th of May in Skegness, I mean, it's not good, is it, that? That is not good. What do you think, guys? This is what I tell you all the time. You don't like it when I talk about porn because you'll feel guilty, don't you? Because of all your tossing off, you little jerks. I'll tell you this. It's making you weak. We must, what you have to do, the point of Lent, for example, is to identify what you put ahead of God. Jordan Peterson would say highest principle. I would say Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. If what you put ahead of that is love of your children, fancy clothes, jerking off, it ain't good. So listen, this dogging tour of the UK, Swansea, like, look, see, you don't know what all these places mean because you're probably American. Bradford, good, decent people, big Muslim community, lovely, decent. I don't agree with, like, ending variety. I agree with empowering people and governing from the basis of the Lord's power. Bonnie Blue, she clearly needed the money. It's right there in her name. Ask the Dice Man. Poor lady. She's a child of God, isn't she? That's the fact of the matter. She's a child of God. Glasgow, good people, divided by football and religion. Belfast, divided by religion. Skegness. If you find yourself masturbating in a car park in Skegness, please pray the name of Jesus. You need saving. You need saving quick and fast. She's selling condoms. Well, in a sense, that's a positive thing, I would say, under the circumstances. Lord, redeem her, appear to her. And
I think the only thing I agree with is if you find yourself, like, jerking off in the middle of Skegness car park on June 17th, then maybe you should evaluate your life choices. You know, that's the only part of, like, I think that's the only thing Russell Brand said recently that I, you know, somewhat agree with. But again, it's this whole idea of how mainstream this is all becoming very quickly. Even if you'd, like, turn the clocks back 12 months, right, and you said to someone, OF, they would cringe. They would be like, oh, you know, those are just, like, people that are looking for a quick payday. Now, you say OF, you think of, well, people like Bonnie Blue doing these ridiculous challenges. You think of people like Camila Arujo, who's like really made a name for herself, kind of, and used OF not just, and also Rebecca Goodwin, for example, who was it living in, you know, by her like own measure, poverty. She became an OF creator, made millions of pounds, and then has used that money and influence to better other people's lives who she was in a position with, or the same position as, if that makes sense, by giving them affordable accommodation, by giving them, if they can't meet the rent, she'll fill in the gaps, right? Like by giving them housing and making it as cheap as possible for people to live, all because she started an OF account. Now, I've got respect for that, right? Like, I don't care how people make money. Like, that's completely their thing. Like, I would never want to cancel anyone. Everyone's got to make money. Everyone's got to make the bag. And if you can make millions of pounds whilst doing it, fair play, right? Fair play. What I disagree with is obviously the ridiculous challenges, the barely legal stuff that Bonnie Blue does. I was the reason why Tommy Fury and Molly May broke up. Like, you don't need those narratives. Rebecca Goodwin didn't need those narratives, and she's managed to better a lot of other people's lives, not just herself, right? And that I can respect and get behind something like that. But then you've got the likes of Bonnie Blue just doing shit like this.
Sorry, Daddy, but today I'm going to be stretched out a lot. I cannot wait to be leaving here in a wheelchair. I don't know if it's medically possible to be able to take all of these at once. Sorry, Dad.
It's just weird, man. It's just weird. It makes you cringe. Genuinely, it makes me cringe. And it's like, when people are needing to go to this level to try and like make a bag, then, you know, again, evaluate your life choices. But, again, another one of those things which is really weird recently is the Bop House have just announced that they are going to be launching their own streaming university. Now, this comes up after Kai Cenat, right, who is one of the biggest Twitch streamers on the planet, opened up a university for people to learn how to stream like he does and become successful in the industry. Fair enough, you know, it's giving Andrew Tate kind of vibes with the, you know, Hustlers University, but who am I to judge? Now, he rejected OF girls from his university and said that they can't do a thing. So the Bop House have decided that they're going to create their own university for OF creators. Now, the issue here, right, and I have the same issue with Kai Cenat, I have the same issue with like what Andrew Tate did with the whole Hustlers University thing. These universities are literal cash grabs. You can't teach someone to have a good personality for content creation. That's something that has to come naturally. They have to find their own feet in like, and then you have to fuck up a lot of things before you can really find your groove with YouTube, with TikTok, with Instagram, Facebook, all the rest of it, right? And streaming as well. You have to be someone, like, you can teach someone all about analytics until you're blue in the face, but if people don't gel with a person and they can't make their content flow, they can't make their content enjoyable to watch, they can't, you know, do things the way that like people enjoy, then you can't give someone, like, you can't say that you're going to get 1 million subscribers by the end of the year, because you don't know what each individual person's personality is. Someone might absolutely smash that if they're a really enjoyable person and can make the best content possible, but some people might be incredibly awkward, incredibly timid, incredibly, you know, shallow. They might just be surface level, and then you've got issues. So this is where the issue for me with these universities come in, because I'm like, well, how are you going to teach people and promise them that you're going to make them into a good OF creator, a good streamer, a good YouTuber through a university, when there's so many variables? People don't, like, people might, I don't think I'm a particularly great YouTuber. I mean, I've managed to find my groove and I've managed to build some kind of following across all the channels that I've got, but not everyone likes me, and that's fine. Not everyone can gel with me. Some people might find me annoying, they might find me bratty, they might find me obnoxious, they might find me irritable to listen to, and that's fine. But some people just cannot get a foot in the door, and that's where the issue comes in, because they're paying X amount a month to learn how to do this under the guise that they will make it as a streamer, make it as an OF creator. but you can't promise them that. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least if you go to an actual university, you'll walk away with a doctorate degree in something. Like, you could go to medical school, and then there's a good possibility that you'll get a job as a nurse, a doctor, a physician, I don't know, whatever.
What is going on, everybody? I am gathered here today with my team to discuss recent talk on Streamer University. As you guys know, the infamous 5'2" streamer by the name of Kai Cenat is not allowing bops into the university. So me and the team have made an executive decision to start Bop University.
Our goal here with Bop University, as opposed to Streamer University, is to not discriminate against bops. We want to create an inclusive environment and community for everyone to feel comfortable and safe. So, more information coming soon.
It's just crazy, man. I don't know. What has the world come to? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree with my points? Let me know why. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.